Virgin Galactic Stock has been a volatile ride for investors. At its peak, the stock was up over 400%, but recently it has come crashing back down to earth here and now sits at around 125% off of its lows. Now, I asked you guys to get 1,000 likes on my recent video if you wanted to see me release a video here on Virgin Galactic, and well, you guys destroyed that like challenge. So I guess it was too easy, and I'll keep that in mind for the next time. But anyways, as promised guys, today's video we're going to be talking about Virgin Galactic, ticker symbol SPCE, and we're going to be taking a deep dive into this company, what they do, what the hype is all about, what their financials look like, and figure out if this company is in fact undervalued at these prices, or if it's a stock that I'm personally going to be staying far away from. We'll find out all of that and more in today's video, guys. But all I ask you, smash that like button once again. Help this video with the YouTube algorithm because every single like does matter. So what makes Virgin Galactic such an interesting and exciting business? They are a space company, but more specifically, as they put it, they are the world's first commercial spaceline and vertically integrated aerospace company. Their goal is to open up access to go to space for everyone by building specialized space vehicles. Their main specialized vehicle is the VSS Unity, which will be their first spaceship to enter service. This is a reusable ship and system that they have here that will allow passengers to board and enter space safely, and more importantly, land back down to Earth safely as well. You may not realize it, but this is an incredibly difficult task to do because of the temperature changes, pressure changes, gases, atmosphere, all these kind of things that they have to account for. But the company here has laid out a plan of how they'll go about to achieve this, and in theory, it seems like they got all of this figured out here. But remember guys, this is not easy to achieve, and they really are the first private company to try to achieve this, so there's going to be a lot of eyes on them with their test flights and future developments on this project. So now you have a very high level understanding here of what this business is and what they do, which is why a lot of people are so excited about this company. But now let's shift gears a little bit and look at this from a more investment perspective. Here they've outlined the 7 main selling points to investors, and I've highlighted the ones that I think are most valuable. First, they are the first and only public company to do this, so if they succeed, there's literally no competition. Second, they have a reusable design which makes it extremely cost effective and efficient for them to grow their balance sheet over time. Third, they have a ton of investment money already, and if you didn't already know, their founder, Richard Branson, is also a billionaire, so he has a ton of connections as well, and I'm sure if they ever need more liquidity down the road, he can probably tap into some of his connections to get that funded. Fourth, they have a path to being profitable while growing, and as an investor, this is key for any investment. So overall, this is some exciting stuff here, and they are really pushing hard the fact that they are the only ones able to take you on a trip to space. Next is regarding the FAA approvals. For a business like this, it is extremely important to get every single FAA certification. You guys remember what happened with Boeing in the last year? Yeah, the FAA does not want that to happen again to any other company, so they'll be doing a lot of due diligence and probably scrutinizing this company quite a bit as well. That being said, Virgin Galactic provided us an update on their FAA approval process. The FAA previously issued a reusable launch vehicle license to allow Virgin Galactic to conduct spaceflight missions. So this is a good start because this is required to actually run their business and what they want to achieve. Then they updated us here on the path to final approval, which they said contains 29 different elements. So far, the company has achieved 24 out of these 29 elements, so there's just 5 left before full approval and certification here. So we're getting very close. Now, while they continue this process, they are also doing test flights to make sure things are heading and operating in the right direction as expected. On June 29th, we got an update saying that their Spaceship 2 Unity and Mothership VMS Eve successfully completed a glide flight from New Mexico. Every time we get news like this on positive tests, or they're going to be doing a test flight, or anything else really that's progressing the business forward, the stock will pop because investors anticipate them getting one step closer to achieving their goal. Then just after this news, we got some more breaking news that Virgin Galactic expects to receive key FAA licenses within the next 2 space flights. And we just saw that they needed 5 more elements to pass certification here, so this has gotten very exciting in the last few weeks. Now, the last piece of breaking news, if you will, that influenced the stock price quite significantly here in the last couple of weeks was around a deal that they struck with NASA. According to this article, Virgin Galactic made an agreement with NASA's Johnson Space Center to encourage commercial participation in orbital human spaceflight to the International Space Station, or ISS for short, while enabling the development of a robust economy in low Earth orbit. This means that the company will develop a new private orbital astronaut readiness program, including identifying candidates interested in purchasing private astronaut missions to the International Space Station, the procurement of transportation to the ISS, on-orbit resources, and ground resources. This news here sent the stock up 18% because striking a deal with NASA is huge and it legitimizes the business that much more. Okay, so lots of exciting stuff has been happening around this business recently, from certifications to partnerships, and investors are getting really excited here, which adds a ton of volatility to the stock. And if you've been trading this company, you've probably made a good amount of money here if you've been able to time things properly. However, guys, on this channel, we don't really focus on short-term trading. We focus on long-term investments. And when we look at long-term investments, we need to understand the financials of a business in terms of their income statement, in terms of their balance sheet, and we want to make sure these are sound investments that we're comfortable holding for a long time. Sure, you can make a little bit of money here and there in the short term, but if you're right about an investment over the long term, you could easily make out with tons of profits, which makes all that research well worth it. So here's the income statement for Virgin Galactic, and we can see just how their income looks when broken down. In Q1 2020, they pulled in $238,000 in revenue, which was up significantly from 2019, which was almost negligible. However, their expenses also ballooned, resulting in bigger operating losses. Now, I do notice that their cost of revenue shrunk substantially year over year, so that is a good sign here that their revenue is growing somewhat organically. Regardless though, net loss for the business was nearly $60 million for the quarter, so they are burning a lot of cash right now, especially when compared to their revenue. Now on the balance sheet side, we see a breakdown here of their assets, and they have around $431 million in cash and $548 million in total assets. This is a big buffer to have, and even though they burnt $60 million in the last quarter, it's easily covered by their current cash balance. Also, guys, remember that their CEO, like I mentioned, is a billionaire who has billionaire connections. So I am not too concerned here about the company running out of cash, because he can probably source some more cash if they require. Of course, it's not a guarantee, but it is something to make note of. Now, in terms of liabilities, they are fine here. They don't really have anything alarming that stands out to me. They got enough cash to cover their short-term and long-term obligations, and they actually hold no long-term debt. So this could also be something they could explore if they needed more cash in the future. So I would say, guys, from my perspective, this is a pretty strong balance sheet here. They have more than enough cash and investments to cover any obligations that may come up and any money that they may burn in the next few quarters or years. So I'm not really concerned about bankruptcy when it comes to this business. And like I said, there's probably connections that they can source if they need to pull more cash, like debt, for example. And really, up until this point in the video, this company looks pretty enticing. They're in an industry that they're pretty much the only player in, and something that pretty much every human wants to experience at some point. So there's a massive worldwide market for this. They have a good balance sheet like we talked about, and they're very close to having a certified product here. But how is their valuation looking? That's of course the big question. As of recording this video, the market cap for the company sits at around $3.4 billion. And with this volatility we see in this stock, I wouldn't be surprised to see this change by the time I release this video. But the analysis that I'm about to show you should still remain consistent. Looking at estimates in 2021, they are expected to grow by 4,176%, and this is by far the highest growth percent I've ever seen for any company out there. They're expected to pull in revenue of $108.2 million, and this will give them a price to sales ratio of 31.4x. Guys, if you know anything about my videos and my recent videos, especially when I look at price to sales ratio, you know that this is a sky high, no pun intended, valuation here. And it's just too expensive, even for a highly innovative company like this, for me to consider investing in personally. I'd like a market cap of around $1 billion or so on this company, as that would give them a price to sales of around a 10x, which is still high, but with this hyper growth, I can somewhat justify that. But at today's market cap and today's valuation, there's absolutely no way that I can justify paying this sort of premium for this company, even though the long-term prospects look incredible. And guys, on a personal note, I actually do hope that this company succeeds because what they're doing is pretty awesome, and I'd love to take a flight out to space at some point as well. Now, though the initial cost to fly to space will be $250,000 on one of their ships, over time, as they build many of these ships and the technology is more proven out and available, the price will naturally come down, and you and me may actually have the opportunity to go out into space at a reasonable cost. Who knows? That's the end goal of the business here, and they have my support, but they don't have my cash as of right now with the valuation, unfortunately. It checks off most of the boxes that I look for an innovative company, and it's just such a unique player in what it's trying to achieve that, you know, maybe it is worth putting some money into. But guys, of course, this is not financial advice, and I personally will just be putting this on my watch list for now and just keeping a close eye on it. Now, if you're actually someone that's investing in this business, let me know in the comment section down below on your strongest bullish case for this company. I know there's a ton of bear cases because if you see their revenue is more or less negligible right now. So a lot of people are drawing comparisons to other similar companies with no revenue. But I'm very, very curious to hear from the strong, perma bulls on this stock as to why they like this as an investment. Guys, as always, smash that like button down below and subscribe if you're brand new here. But either way, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.